Most men hear what women say. Few men notice what women do. And that gap, the space between words and actions, decides who she sleeps with, who she stays with, and who she leaves. It shapes whether she respects you or quietly resents you. Today, I'm going to pull off the polite mask and show you the hidden patterns most men never see. This isn't sweet. It isn't easy. It's real. Listen closely. The world teaches men to take words at face value. I just want a nice guy. Looks don't matter. I love you just the way you are. Sounds good, right? But you've seen the other side. You've watched women walk away from safe, steady men and chase the guy who barely texts back. You've seen long rants about bad boys, followed by more dates with the same men they said they were done with. You've heard about independence, then watched the same women melt for a man who takes the lead. This video is risky because it says the quiet part out loud. Not to attack women, but to understand them. Because the man who understands the unspoken rules stops getting blindsided. He reads action over words. He doesn't panic when things shift. He doesn't cling when attraction dips. He knows what's really going on. Before we start, ask yourself, why do women hide some thoughts? Simple. Survival. For most of history, showing raw desire could mean judgment or danger. So women learned to speak one way and choose another. 2 layers. The polite layer for the world and the primal layer that decides. You've felt this. You've seen it. Now you're going to see it clearly. This won't be comfortable. Truth rarely is. Nice is not the same as strong. Almost every man has heard it. I just want a nice guy. On the surface, it sounds simple. Be kind, polite, respectful, and she'll want you. But watch closely what happens when a man is only nice. He often becomes soft. He says yes to everything. He explains himself too much. He avoids conflict at all costs. He asks for permission even for small things. He bends so much that he loses his own shape. And in the end, he believes being overly sweet will buy him love or desire. It doesn't. Here's the truth that stings. Women are not drawn to weakness disguised as kindness. They are pulled towards strength, not cruelty, not abuse. Strength. The kind of strength that comes from a man who leads his own life. A man with a clear path, who makes decisions, who knows where he is going and invites her to join. His power is not in dominating her, it's in controlling himself. He could push, he could demand, but he chooses not to. And that choice is what makes him magnetic. Think about the stories, books, or shows women secretly enjoy when nobody is watching. They are rarely about quiet, harmless men who never raise their voice. They are about powerful men, leaders, protectors, men who stand tall in the storm. And yet, those men also know when to be gentle. That mix of authority and care creates the spark. Safety without strength feels flat. It feels like she is with a friend, not a partner. Strength without care feels dangerous, even frightening. The sweet spot is when both meet. Strength that chooses kindness. That's when attraction comes alive. That's when respect grows. So don't confuse being agreeable with being valuable. A man who is nice but spineless will never awaken her deeper desire. A man who is strong, decisive, steady, and still kind hits the center of her heart and mind. The unspoken thought behind her words is this: I want a man who can move me with his presence without asking for permission to be himself. Love without respect turns cold. A lot of men believe love is the only thing that matters in a relationship. They think, if she says she loves me, then I'm safe. If she lives with me, if she shares her life with me, then it will last forever. But the truth is harder. Love alone is not enough. A woman can love you deeply, she can laugh with you, share a bed with you, even build a life with you, and still slowly lose her respect for you. And once respect dies, desire follows soon after. On the outside, nothing seems wrong. She still smiles, she still posts happy pictures online, she still says, I love you. Life continues like normal. But inside, something is cooling down. The warmth she once felt starts turning into a quiet numbness. Her heart is still there, but the fire is gone. So how does this happen? It happens through silent comparisons. She will not tell you, but in her mind, she is always comparing. She compares you to the men from her past. She compares you to her friends' boyfriends or husbands. She compares you to the confident man she noticed for 2 seconds at a cafe. Most of all, she compares the man you are today with the man you could be, the version of you with discipline, direction, and strength. If she feels like she is settled for comfort instead of strength, for routine instead of leadership, a tiny seed of bitterness begins to grow. It's not loud. She may not even fully admit it to herself. But over time, it becomes heavier. It shows up in small ways: less excitement when she sees you, less effort in intimacy, vague answers when you ask what's wrong. She might say, "I don't know why, but I just feel different." What she means is, "I don't respect you the way I once did." Many men fail to notice this shift because they trust words instead of watching actions. They hear, "I love you," and think everything is fine. But they ignore the patterns, the distance, the silence, the comparisons she never speaks of. Here's the lesson. Respect is not something you can buy with gifts, win with begging, or keep by avoiding conflict. You don't protect it by bending to her every mood or trying to please your way back into her heart. Respect is earned and kept by how you carry yourself as a man. When you hold your ground, when you keep your standards, when you take responsibility for your life, she feels it. That's when respect grows. A woman may love many men in her life, but she will only stay truly loyal to the one she respects. Without respect, love turns soft, weak, and finally cold. With respect, love grows stronger with time. The unspoken thought that lives in her heart when respect is gone is this: "I love him, but I don't look up to him. And that's why I don't want him." The fantasy she won't admit. Every human being has private thoughts and secret fantasies. Some are harmless daydreams. Some are desires they would never admit out loud. Women are no different. On the outside, many women talk about wanting safety, stability, and a partner who is gentle and kind. And yes, those things matter. But beneath that surface, many women carry a hidden craving. Not for chaos, not for abuse, but for intensity. What does intensity mean? It's the feeling of being fully noticed, fully claimed, and fully taken care of by a man who has strong presence. It's when she feels so secure in who he is that she can finally let go of control. She doesn't want constant drama. She doesn't want someone reckless. She doesn't want cruelty. What she wants is a man whose strength allows her to surrender without fear. This explains why a woman can love the sweet guy with all her heart, yet feel little or no passion in the bedroom. He gives her affection, but not fire. He is gentle, but not powerful. And over time, she may start to wonder what is missing. That missing piece is intensity. It also explains why she might say, "Be gentle," the first time intimacy begins, because she is testing if you are safe. But once she trusts you, once she feels that you are steady and grounded, she may ask you to be rougher, stronger, more dominant, not because she enjoys pain, but because she enjoys surrender. She wants to hand over control to a man who has proven he will never misuse it. The truth is, this side of her is rarely spoken out loud. Most women will not confess it to their partners, not even years into a relationship. Why? Because they fear judgment. They worry you'll misunderstand, think less of them, or worse, try to force it without understanding the emotional trust required. So they keep those fantasies private. Some women even hide them from themselves, telling their conscious mind, "I just want kindness," while their subconscious whispers, "I want to be taken." This is why many men never see this side of their partner. It's not that she doesn't have the desire, it's that he never brings his own solid masculine edge to unlock it. He never shows the mix of strength and safety that gives her permission to let go. Without that, she stays in control. She stays polite. She stays restrained. And he never realizes there was a whole other world of passion available if only he had shown her his true strength. It's important to make something clear. This is not about violence or cruelty. It's not about disrespect. It's about choice, trust, and consent. She wants to feel like she can surrender because you've earned it, because you've shown her you are steady enough to handle it, because she knows that even when she lets go, you will not let her fall. When a man understands this, intimacy changes forever. It stops being routine and becomes alive. She doesn't just love you, she desires you. She doesn't just stay with you, she craves you. And she will never openly admit it, but deep inside her heart, the thought is always there. I want to let go with a man who won't let me fall. The double life, mask and core. Every woman lives with two sides of herself. One is the mask, the version she shows the world, her friends, her family, even you. This side smiles, avoids conflict, and says the right things. The mask keeps peace. It makes life smoother. It tells people what they want to hear. But behind that mask, there is the core self, the inner world she keeps hidden. This is where her real thoughts live. The raw truths, the unspoken fears, the secret desires, the longings she can't say out loud because she is scared of being judged, misunderstood, or rejected. Most men only ever deal with the mask. And when you only see the mask, you believe everything is fine. You believe she is happy. You believe the relationship is strong. But the truth is, the mask cannot hide forever. The inner world always finds small ways to leak out. It shows up in sudden distance, in cold silence after days of warmth, in a quick temper over something tiny, in late night scrolling through social media, in old crushes or exes suddenly reappearing in her conversations. These are signals from the core self that is not being fully expressed. Why does she hide this inner self? There are different reasons. Sometimes she hides it because she actually loves you and does not want to hurt you with truths that might cut deep. Sometimes she hides it because she doubts you could handle it. That if she told you her real desires, her darker thoughts, or her secret comparisons, you might panic, shame her, or lose your balance. And yes, sometimes she hides it because she simply does not respect you enough to be honest. She sees you as too weak, too soft, or too dependent on her approval to carry the weight of her truth. This is why so many men are blindsided when a breakup happens. They thought everything was fine because the mask looked fine, but underneath, the inner world was restless for years. Here's the mistake many men make. They try to chase the hidden world. They interrogate her with questions. They beg her to just be honest. They push her to reveal everything. But this doesn't work. You can't demand the mask to fall. If you try to pull it off by force, she'll only hide more. The secret is not in chasing her truth, but in earning it. You do this by becoming a man who is steady, grounded, and unshakable. When you live with purpose, when you hold your own frame, when you don't crumble under pressure, you create a space of safety. In that space, she begins to trust that her deeper self can come out. Slowly, the mask falls on its own. And when it does, you finally see her. Not the polite version, not the edited version, but her real self. That's when intimacy grows deeper than words. That's when connection becomes real. Because she no longer feels she has to hide. She knows you can hold her truths without breaking. The unspoken thought that lives in her heart is this: I don't show him everything. If I did, I'm not sure he could hold it. Tests are real and constant. If you've ever felt like a woman was testing you, that's because she was. And most of the time, she doesn't even realize she's doing it. These tests don't always look like obvious games. Sometimes it's something small, like giving you short replies when you're expecting warmth. Sometimes it's picking a fight over something minor. Sometimes it's going cold without warning, just to see how you react. Other times it's posting a picture designed to stir your jealousy or pushing against a boundary you've set. To the average man, these things feel confusing, frustrating, even manipulative. But underneath, most of these moments are not about cruelty, they're about checking. The real questions behind the test are simple. Is he solid? Does he stay calm when I'm emotional? Does he still lead when I push? Does he collapse when I storm? Why do women do this? Because it's part of how they measure a man's strength. A man may talk big, may act confident, but the test reveals whether he is truly grounded or just pretending. These tests are not new. They're wired into survival. Long ago, choosing a man who broke under pressure could mean danger. So women learn to push, to question, to test. It's in their nature. Here's the hard part. Most men fail these tests without even realizing it. They panic. They overreact. They start defending themselves with long explanations. They argue endlessly, trying to win her approval. Or they beg, chasing her affection like it's slipping away. All of these reactions send one message loud and clear. I am not steady. I need you to approve of me so I can feel strong. And when a man does that, attraction fades. The man who passes, however, doesn't posture or panic. He doesn't need to shout or fight for control. He hears her, but he doesn't get dragged into chaos. He stays rooted. He doesn't give away his self-respect in exchange for her mood. He stays kind, but he is not for sale. His frame stays firm no matter how much pressure is applied. And here's the twist. She will never clap her hands and say, "Well done, you passed my test." You won't get applause, you won't get a medal. In fact, she might not even consciously know she tested you. But something changes in how she feels. Respect grows, desire deepens. She feels safer and more drawn to you. On the other hand, if you keep failing her tests, if you keep folding, begging, or crumbling, she won't tell you the real reason she is losing attraction. She won't say, "I don't respect you anymore because you bend too easily." Instead, she'll just quietly drift away. And when it's finally over, all she'll give you is the vague line, "I'm just not happy anymore." By then, it's too late. So remember this, the tests will never stop. They are part of the game. The point is not to avoid them, but to pass them by being unshakable. That doesn't mean being cold or harsh, it means being firm, calm, and steady. The unspoken thought behind every test is this: I push him to see if he bends. If he breaks, I can't follow him. What to do with this knowledge? Now that you've seen these truths, you stand at a crossroad. You have two paths in front of you, and the choice will decide the kind of man you become and the kind of relationships you live with. Choice 1. Deny it. Tell yourself your story is different. Convince yourself that women don't think or act this way, that your situation is special. Keep believing her words while ignoring her actions. Keep saying, "But I did everything for her," while wondering why she slowly lost interest. Stay blind to the signs until one day you're left with resentment, confusion, and shock when she finally walks away. This path is common. Many men take it, and almost all of them end up bitter, asking, "What went wrong?" even though the signs were there all along. Choice 2. Accept it. Not with hate, not with anger, with clarity. Accept that women are human beings, complex, layered, sometimes contradictory, but always driven by deep instincts. Accept that what they say and what they do are not always the same, not because they are evil, but because they are protecting their hearts, their safety, and their survival. Once you see this clearly, you stop expecting the world to match the comforting lies you were taught. You start living in reality. And in that reality, the answer is simple. Stop trying to earn love by making yourself smaller. Stop shrinking in order to be good enough. Stop chasing approval like a child hoping to be chosen. Instead, start building yourself. Build your body with health and strength. Build your mind with knowledge and skill. Build your character with discipline and standards. Build a life so strong that it does not wobble when someone pulls away. When you live this way, you don't have to beg for respect. It comes naturally. You don't have to chase love, it flows toward you. You become the kind of man who doesn't need approval, yet receives it. You don't need to demand loyalty, yet inspire it. And when you bring this life to a woman, do it with warmth, not arrogance. Lead yourself first, and then invite her to follow, not with force, but with presence. Be kind, but not soft. Be open, but never needy. Be strong, but never cruel. Speak with clarity instead of hesitation. Decide quickly instead of dragging your feet. Apologize when you are wrong, but never apologize for being who you are. Keep your word because your word is your backbone. And when she tests you, and she will, don't panic, don't complain, don't collapse. Smile. Understand that the test is not there to destroy you, but to reveal you. And when you hold your ground, when you stay rooted in your strength, she feels it, she respects it, she desires it. Because you've shown her that you are not just a man who talks, you are a man who is. That's the choice. Stay blind or wake up. Shrink or rise. Beg or lead. The truth is hard, but once you accept it, you stop living in confusion. You stop being controlled by fear. You stop playing a game you don't understand, and instead, you start playing with your eyes wide open. Ground rules, so you don't twist this. This is not a pass for abuse. Strength is self-control, not control of others. Consent and respect come first, always. Dominance here means leadership with care. It's calm direction, not shouting, shaming, or threats. Women aren't villains. These patterns are human instincts shaped by safety and survival. You're responsible for you. Don't try to fix her. Build you and choose wisely. The core truths, plain and simple. What she says and what she chooses can be different. Watch actions. She wants strength with heart, a man who can and chooses when. Without respect, love fades. Without desire, love goes quiet. She has a private world. You won't see it by force, you'll see it when you're steady. Tests never stop. Pass them by holding your frame, not by begging for peace. You don't need her to admit any of this. You only need to see it. When you do, you stop chasing approval and start living with purpose. You stop asking, "What does she want from me?" and start asking, "What kind of man am I building?" That shift changes everything. Women feel it. You feel it. Life feels it. Become the man who leads himself. Respect follows. Desire follows. The right woman follows. If this shook you, share it with a brother who needs it. Like the video, hit subscribe, and support the mission using the link below. Stay strong, stay clear, and I'll see you in the next one.